This video is about the reason why an international student decided to come to China to study abroad.
当时来中国留学是什么样的想法？
The Chinese student asked, "Why did you decide to study abroad in China?"
我可以说我没有想法吗？
He replied, "Can I say none? I didn't have any thoughts."
可以啊。
Of course.
我在这里待这么久，唯一一个原因是因为在04年中国愿意给奖学金给我们过来。
Can I say that the only reason I've stayed here for so long is that China was willing to give us scholarships in 2004?
这个想法太真实了。
The Chinese student said sharing this bluntly is too honest.
我本来想去韩国的，因为那时候在打星际争霸嘛。
啊，
那时候韩国打星际争霸就可以成明星，你那个百事可乐瓶都可以有你的头像。后来韩国去不了，我
I initially planned to go to South Korea because I was an avid StarCraft player back then. At that time, one could become a star by playing StarCraft well, but later the plan didn't work out.
选择是去日本。日本要学满3年才能过去留学。
My second choice was actually Japan. However, I had to finish my junior year of college in my home country before being eligible to study abroad in Japan, so that plan failed as well.
后来中国也没想过要去啊，当然我们那个老师跟我们说给奖学金，反正你机票啊，在那边的住宿啊全包，然后好像每个月还给你一个600块钱的一个补贴，那个时候还觉得特别多。
Even then, I still didn't even think about going to China, but a teacher told us that we can get many scholarship offers. Flight tickets and accommodation costs would all be covered. We could also get a subsidy of 600 yuan per month, which felt like a lot back then.
那中国给钱我就去中国呀。
Then I said, sure, I would study abroad in China if China would give me money. Someone said the Communist Party took the Chinese people's hard-earned money for so-called foreign assistance. This exemplifies its distorted nature. Xi Jinping recently issued an order to wage a war against poverty and claimed that it will not end until all the Chinese people have been lifted out of poverty. This video well illustrates the difficulty of seeing a doctor in China.
我让你给我建议，我现在有可能是什么？我建议你做彩超。我到这儿都没有1分钟，我都没坐着，半分钟去吧，700块，是不是啊？就这种状态吗？医大现在都这样啊。
In the video, the patient sat down for less than half a minute and the doctor did not check on anything nor give any medical advice, but instead directly asked the patient to do an ultrasound scan which cost around 700 yuan. Someone said doctors' conduct is directly related to the Chinese medical system. The so-called positive energy of doctors promoted by state media is just the CCP's political propaganda. A Chinese national living in the Netherlands said, "I think the Netherlands, because of its medical insurance policy, I, a wandering foreigner, was rescued and survived. I spent 80 days in the hospital without paying a penny. The total medical expenses were at least 170,000 euros. If I were in China, I would definitely not have been able to afford them. Then I wonder, would any Chinese hospital have been willing to save my life?" In this video, the girl said,
一个癌症中晚期女孩，今天我来北京来复查来。
"I'm in the last stage of cancer. Today I came to Beijing for a re-examination."
我这次呢来北京复查，我感觉特别有感触，因为这段时间呢，我和我们全家还有爷爷奶奶每天熬到深夜挣的钱呢，这次来北京几乎全部都花光了。
This time, almost all of the savings that my family as well as my grandparents stayed up late every day to earn over the past period of time have been used up.
我也知道熬夜对我的身体不好，但是呢，我来医院呢，大夫都让我先交钱后看病。你说钱重要还是生命重要？
I know that staying up late is not good for my health, but when I came to the hospital, the doctor asked me to pay first and see a doctor afterwards. Is money or life more important? Someone seemed to understand the doctor's behavior and said, because all the medical staff in the hospital also need payments from patients to buy food, pay for their own children's tuition, and provide care for the elderly. The government of Yuncheng City in Shanxi province has publicly declared that the medical insurance fund has been continuously overdrawn and is unable to be used to provide a wide range of welfare benefits anymore. Therefore, the municipal government has adjusted its medical insurance policies. Class B self-supported medical expenses will no longer be included in the scope of reimbursement for serious illness insurance for urban and rural residents. Someone shared, recently the topic of involution has gone viral on Chinese Weibo. The person in this video shared 8 different examples to help explain what involution implies in China's context.
来举8个例子啊，一，几十个硕士报名竞聘一个有编制的清洁工的岗位，内卷啊，因为更适合他们的岗位太少，所以开始在低水平展开生存竞争。
Dozens of master's degree holders signed up to compete for a custodian position. This is an involution because there are too few posts more suitable for them, so they had to start competing for survival at a low level.
2，国企事业单位没完没了的检查评比，内卷，因为他们没有能力或者没有动力去做真正能够改变社会治理状况的开拓性工作，又怕大家闲着，于是开始玩命折腾。
State-owned enterprises and institutions constantly conduct appraisals. This is an involution because they have no ability or motivation to do pioneering work that can truly change the state of social governance. But in the meantime, they are afraid that the employees will be idle, so they start to frequently implement all kinds of assessments to keep them alert.
3，科研工作者放弃科研信仰，开始专注于拿项目凑发票，内卷。因为真正苦心孤诣的冷板凳科学家有可能变成陈景润。
Number 3, researchers gave up their beliefs in scientific research and begun to concentrate on collecting invoices and competing for projects. This is an involution because the real scientists who devote their life to the pursuit of truth and human development may have miserable endings due to the political landscape, like acclaimed Chinese mathematician Chen Jingrun, who was persecuted during Mao's Cultural Revolution era.
4，各类抖音主播不管适合不适合都开始带货，内卷，因为平台无法给创作者提供让他们更加体面地获得报酬的方式，所以他们冒着人设崩塌的风险开始吆喝。
Number 4, all kinds of TikTok hosts, regardless of suitability, began to engage in live commerce. This is an involution because the TikTok platform can't provide content creators with a more decent way to get paid, so they sell products while live streaming to just earn more income, despite bearing the risk of destroying their own carefully established public image.
5，我们很难买到能够一用好几年的节能灯，内卷，因为厂家知道单方面的提高质量并不能理所当然地带来价格的提升。
Number 5, it is difficult for us to buy energy-saving lamps that can last for several years. This is an involution because manufacturers know that unilaterally improving quality does not necessarily lead to increase in profits.
6，硬着头皮创业做副业的人越来越多，内卷，因为除了少数垄断性的企业或者金领行业，一个中年人单纯上班无论如何也无法为家人带来体面的生活。
Number 6, there is an increasing number of people who bite the bullet to start their own businesses and do part-time jobs. This is an involution because except for a few monopolistic enterprises or gold-collar industries, a middle-aged person who simply does a full-time job cannot bring a decent life to his family.
7，农村的男孩子娶老婆越来越难，内卷，因为严重的性别比例失衡，使得冰冷的供求关系压倒了温暖的婚恋关系，婚姻成了买卖。
Number 7, it is getting harder for men living in rural areas to get married. This is an involution because due to serious gender imbalance, the cold relationship of supply and demand overwhelmed the warm relationship of love and marriage. Marriage has become a form of business.
8，城市剩女越来越多，内卷，因为传统上女人嫁人的基本需求就是嫁汉穿衣吃饭，而现实是能够单方面满足这个需求的男性越来越少，而且需求也早已不仅限于穿衣吃饭，还有化妆打扮、温情陪伴、汽车房产平等人权。
Number 8, there are increasingly more leftover women in urban areas. This is an involution because traditionally the basic needs that women have for marriage are having enough clothes to wear and food to eat. that is, to survive. But now the reality is there are fewer and fewer men who can unilaterally meet these simple demands, and now women's demands have also increased to include things like wearing makeup, having equal human rights, buying cars, owning houses.
8个案例说完啊，我再加一个我一个生意人也跑来做知识主播，也是内卷。因为如果没有办法获得低成本的流量现在什么生意都
In addition to these 8 different cases, I will also add one more that is very personal. I was a businessman but now work as an online show host. This is also an involution, because these days, if there is no way to obtain low-cost traffic, no business can be done. Someone also shared that involution refers to a meaningless pursuit of excellence in performance. For example, in Beijing's Great Hall of the People, thousands of teacups are placed in a clean row after being carefully measured. This extremely cost-incentive effect can only be maintained for a while because they will be messed up when the meeting is held. In the meantime, involution is also reflected in the process of promoting cadres in China. In fact, the superior has already decided who will be promoted, but on the surface, he or she pretends that's not the case by using a lot of manpower and material resources to meticulously complete the procedural steps one by one. Someone said involution actually also means spending a lot of time and exhausting willpower, but without creativity. It is essentially when society has developed to a certain extent and can no longer be expanded externally in a creative way. It begins to complicate and refine internal affairs, which is also a sign of social solidification. On social media, netizens also hold different perceptions about involution. For example, this netizen thinks that involution means those with high education, even PhD holders, do delivery jobs and engage in the most basic manual labor work. Someone said involution is actually the sky seen by the frog at the bottom of the well. Someone said involution is fierce competition on the competitive trend line. Someone summarized what's miserable about today's Chinese people is that they walk on the path with confusion and cannot see the hope ahead. They strive to lead in the seemingly peaceful present, but do not know the direction of tomorrow.
Child, we will take you in. Child, we will bring you home. You'll be a flower that sees the spring. Soon a dove flies